The other day, my good friend Adam stopped by in his 1969 Chevy C10 Pickup with a Supercharged LS swap in it, and we went for a ride. Check it out.
Seriously, I just had it.
Yeah, it did. Wow.
Oh, we'll get it home.
No wonder you love this thing.
Oh, yeah. And then, like, it looks like a heap of shit truck, but it's got a lot of good stuff on it. It's pretty controllable and predictable. So, I mean, you can just kind of hoon around or, you know, be a jack off and feel pretty good about it.
Yeah.
It's usually not out of hand. Usually. Need this to go along. I mean, that's just toying around.
Yeah.
See, like, what I like about this truck is that it's drivable. It's nice. It's not herking and jerking all over the place. It's, you know, I mean, you can drive it like a stock car if you want. And there's really no compromises, but then whenever you want to put it down, it's party time. I mean, you figure I rolled into that.
Yeah,
I didn't even stop it. You know? Figure there's your 29 1250 Hoosiers that we're toying with out back.
Yeah, not small.
Not gigantic, but not small. And I mean, they're not as slick. They're a, you know, a street-oriented drag radial. But,
Yeah.
you know, they're definitely not your.
But the same. Another point is it is rather cold out today, so I mean, it's not like you're.
Surface temp's cold, and the more dense air makes a couple extra bald eagles under the hood.
Yeah. So this is a 69 Chevy C10, and it has been LS swapped and supercharged, and it just hauls ass. About wanting that brake upgrade before you put any more power to it.
I mean, I'm impressed. We hooked at about 85 there.
I know.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. I guess I would describe this as more of a visceral experience.
It's on-demand power. You know, that's why I wanted to do the blower versus the turbo.
Versus a turbo.
So we're doing like 2200 RPM, then we'll stab it to third. It's just fun feeling it fighting all the time. You know?
I don't even know if I got that at all on film, because I was sitting there, Jesus.
That's what I mean. It pulls so hard. The power band's so nice the whole way through.
It's just
a lot of fun.
Steady.
Yeah. And this is very safe, conservative tune. Safe boost level. I think I'm pulling like right at 13 pounds. Should be like 620 to the wheels on pump.
Yeah.
A bunch of junkyard parts. With a new blower.
In a vehicle that weighs
3,800 on the dot.
3,800 on the dot.
3,800 on the dot is what it weighs. Full weight, AC, everything. It's 3,800 on the dot.
Wow.
It's heavy compared to race car shit, but light for a truck. You know?
You have about 1,000 pounds on an FD.
Yeah. But
so I can only imagine if you were to throw this This is why people LS swap their FDs, people. Okay. So,
Yeah, right.
1,000 extra pounds, and this thing throws you around like you're in the, I don't know, the tumbles, like, the tumble part of a washing machine cycle.
This drivetrain in an FD would be rowdy.
Oh, it would be insane.
Yeah.
I mean, there would be some drawbacks, like having to get a weird hood or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
But man,
especially with these blowers, it's hard to keep these blowers all under the hood.
Yeah.
I think guys do it though. There's a guy that took this blower and put it, obviously on an LS and under the hood of an FD and made it fit. Maybe not. I can't remember though. And maybe he did.
the oil pan would have been dragging on the ground.
They make super shallow oil pans for them. CTSV oil pans are super shallow but wide. That's what a lot of people use.
I like the new fog lights.
Thanks. Yeah, that was a little bit of redneck fabrication there on my part.
And I think this guy's new too.
Fairly new, couple months, but yeah. I was looking at this, I'm like, well, if or when I do break down, how the hell are we even pulling it up onto a tilt bed?
Yeah.
What are you, like, yeah, you can hook onto the lower controller, but you're gonna have to take that air dam off.
Yep.
So just to get it up on a tilt bed, obviously you need boards and shit, but at least with that little, eBay special tow hook.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know if I'd go extracting it up out of a
the
hillside via
yeah.
it, but just to pull it on a tilt bed, it's good enough.
Definitely not your grandpa's truck. Total sleeper until you hit the gas.
Yeah, this is probably the one vehicle I won't sell. See the little cylinder thing that looks like a turbo?
Mm-hmm.
That's an electric water pump. So the blower has its own cooling system completely separate from the truck.
So in between here and here, you have an AC condenser, you have a radiator or an aftercooler for the blower, and then you have the radiator for the truck.
I have about
You don't want to like throw an oil cooler in there too?
it should have had one, but I eliminated it. Yeah.
You know, what's great about this is you can, even with a supercharged LS in this thing, you could still raise a family in the engine bay.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's just
Absolutely.
very cleanly done to where, you don't have unnecessary wiring sticking
I'm gonna
out.
even clean it up more. It'll look better whenever that catch can's relocated. These are the stock washer hoses.
Yep.
That's stock routing. So I'm gonna wind up hiding them and running them like internally up into the wiper cowl instead, and then just grommeting off those holes or whatever. It'll get cleaned up a little bit more, but I'm not trying to make it a show truck, but I just want to make it clean. I'm not shaving the firewall or nothing like that. I'll repaint some engine bay stuff this winter. Bottom of the hood needs repainted. It's never been painted. I just hacked holes in it to install livers and just left it at that.
You've got the rear end done, the engine done for now, and you're going to work on driveline. You're going to put an indestructible transmission and probably different drive shaft. Wheels,
Drive
tires,
shaft is
brakes.
good.
Drive shaft is good? Okay.
Yeah, it's all 1350 joints, DOM tubing. It's ready to party. Just need a tick level 5 T56, twin disc clutch, and then flywheel back will be more than ready for 1,000 horse.
This is how old this truck is. Lap belt, okay, comes out retractable, very cool. But on this side, you still got the old school GM buckle style buckles, and man, does it make it an experience riding in this thing. Because you're like, well, if we roll over, tell my mom I love her, because goodbye.
I'll never cage the truck, but I may actually do a harness bar in it and harnesses this winter. If I would cage it, I would just do it all inside the cab. I'm not coming through the rear window with bars and stuff like that. It's not a race truck. It's just a hoon truck. It's just a burnout truck.
Mm-hmm.
It's shitty enough to not care, but fun enough that it gets used, and comfortable and drivable.
Yep.
Because I'm getting old, and if it's not comfortable, drivable, enjoyable, it would sit in the garage.
Yep.
And that's the
But I mean, at this
same as it
point,
would do if it was extremely nice. I own nice stuff, and I don't hardly drive it as much as I do this.
because this is just more fun.
I wiped the wheels and tires down for the first time ever in 6 years a couple days ago. In 6 years. And the only reason I did that is because I painted the front bumper, and the black on the front bumper was like 10 more blacks than everything else. So I was like, all right, well, at least let me wipe the wheels down to where they're not brown and they're black again.
Yep.
That's it. That's and then every time I blow it up after I get done rebuilding it or replacing the motor, I wipe the fenders down with a rag and brake clean because the top fenders get brown. That's it. That's all the more cleaning I do. It's all aftermarket out back. Measured 9-inch diff, 35 spline chrome ollies, Eaton Pawsey unit. It's a quick performance fabbed housing. 1350 billet yoke. It's the best of the best 9-inch you can put in this truck, aside from going with 40 spline and a spool, which I didn't want a spool. Yeah. I wanted it to be streetable. All tubular suspension underneath the ass end, tubular trailing arms, no limit engineering pan hard bar setup.
For those of you that are curious, no, I will not race him in my FD because I would get eaten alive. Just feeling the sheer difference in torque. This thing throws you back in your seat like you just wouldn't believe, and it's impressive and it's fun. And like I said, a very visceral experience. You know, I've known Adam a long time, and this is the first time I've had the opportunity to take a ride in this thing. And let me tell you, it is impressively fast and annoyingly fun. Like,
yeah.
You know,
it is, because it just goes at any RPM and just keeps pulling the whole way up to red line.
Yep.
You know, there's no power band, so to speak. There's no letting it spool.
It's just insta power.
Yeah.
It's not like you need I mean,
like before, when it was higher compression, NA, big cam, you know, under 2,500 RPM, it probably made about 80 horsepower.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's exaggerating, but you know what I mean? There's nothing down low, nothing at all down low. And now it's the exact opposite.
Yep.
It's just instant torque down low, and then it just freight trains the way up. I mean, for what it is, internally, it's a dead stock motor, other than cam and ARP hardware and valve train, supporting cam mods, you know, the springs and everything like that.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's literally a junkyard motor. 3/4 ton Chevy bottom end, mix match 243 heads. They match, but they're not from the same vehicle.
motor.
The passenger side one's from the GTO. The driver's side one was from a 1/2-ton Chevy truck. Pistons 1 and 3 were from a different motor from the last time I blew it up. I pulled number 1 and 3 pistons out of my buddy's block, put it in that block. Full sloppy build. Didn't gap rings, nothing. Actually, his rings were gapped. So the rings on number 1 and 3 are gapped for boost, and then 2 and then 4 through 8. Yeah, it's 160,000 mile ring gap on them.
Yep.
GM rings, you know, junkyard fresh, and yeah, with the factory GM blower on it. That's all it is. The blower's not ported.
Did you put a smaller pulley on it or anything?
Yeah,
okay.
It's got a stock crank pulley, which I could go up in crank pulley eventually, or I could go down on blower pulley. It's 2.4-inch grip tech pulley, 13 pounds on this motor. Very safe. I could throw 16 to this motor and feel okay.
Yeah.
But I'd rather be able to just
daily drive it and not have to worry about it.
Bounce rev limiter at 13 pounds and just be ignorant to it, and it be bulletproof, than worry about picking up an extra, 30 or 40
horsepower
and really, putting more strain on the motor. It's just not worth it. I could switch it over to E85 too, which I may, now that it's running Holley, because I did the Holley Terminator on it. All I have to do is put a flex sensor, plug it into the flex sensor harness. My injectors are big enough. I'd have to go bigger fuel pump or twin fuel pumps.
Yeah.
I think I'd have to go, it's like twin 340 pumps.
And right now you're running
a single 525, 545, 525, I think. it is.
Still,
So,
that's a lot, man. I mean,
Yeah,
when
it
you
is.
consider what you need.
Yeah,
even-
I just didn't want to do 885 because there's cons to it. The fuel tank isn't very big in this truck, and fuel consumption is a thing on E85.
Sure
My
is.
fuel consumption already suffers enough as is. I'm only getting like 10 to 13 miles a gallon in it now. I used to get as much as 15 to 17 on the highway, but those days are gone. Those days are gone. It sucks to fuel down a little more now, but you know, on E85, I'd lose 25 to 30%.
Yeah, so
fuel
you'd be
economy.
like 7 miles per
Yeah,
gallon.
and with a 17-gallon tank, and that tank is not baffled, I fill up after 10 gallons.
Yep.
Because 17-gallon tank, and with how hard this heap pulls, you know, especially if I'm going up a hill,
You don't
and
wanna
if I
drive.
slop and, you know, start leaning it out. Now we do have safety parameters built into it to where, like, you know, if the wideband sees it lean, you know, it's gonna jack like 30 degrees of timing out of it, you know, kind of as a fail-safe. It's about every 100 miles I fill up. I fill up every 100 miles. I err on the side of caution. I mean, on road trips, I'll push it to like 150, 170. I'm getting better mileage, and I'm not reefing on it the whole time. Yes, that's why I didn't do E85. It's just not worth the little bit of extra horsepower. You know, I'd be having to stop every 70 miles.
70 miles. Adam has spent the past 6 or 7 years just gradually improving that truck. I think whenever he bought it, it was pretty much stock and had like a straight 6 in it with a like 4-on-4 or something. It's just been an awesome evolution, and it's just really, really cool to see how far that truck has come. And after riding in it, I could tell you it's just a riot. It is a riot. That thing is just absolutely bananas. And anybody that hops in the passenger seat and clicks the belt and goes for a spin in that thing is just, if they're not smiling, there's something wrong with them. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.